Thank you very much, Shocks. And the game is good for the ears and the mind. So we're going to get into Game 2, this best-of-5 semifinals between RYL Club and Fnatic. And after their dominating win in the first match, RYL Club looks to make it 2 in a row against the European champs.
Yeah, in that last game, RYL won every lane, and then they transitioned that to every aspect of the game. It was just total control. They stopped the roam of Fnatic, and from picks and bans to the endgame team fights, that was a solid Game 1 victory.
Yeah, and I know the analysts pointed out, but it's worth touching on again. What he did against Peke was phenomenal, because that ratio is not just the kills as well, because it's 5-1-9 he went against Peke's 2-3-1 on Fizz. It was the farm. He was 30-plus farm ahead within 8 minutes of that game.
It kind of snowballed, actually, from like a level 4 all-in where they went on heavy trade, and Peke was forced to be passing the lane from that point on, and he dropped 30 CS in like the first 10 minutes or something like that, and it just continued throughout the entire laning phase and into the game.
And I think the thing that really blew my mind was how hard the lanes actually lost in each lane, how well the jungler actually helped out in that bottom lane with Jax all the time, and then they just continued to roam and take objective.
I really do think Cyanide has to have a larger impact on this next game, even though every lane is losing, and that is the worst position to be in as a jungler, as I'm sure me and Snoopy know. It's just, his Lee Sin, he was in the right spots a lot of times, but he was missing his skill shots, and we were talking earlier, we're expecting him to go with Aatrox if it's available.
Yeah, so a little less skill shot dependent, but can still create an impact throughout the game, and I think he's probably going to roll back onto the Aatrox, and RYL doesn't actually play Aatrox that much, so.
I feel like they hurt Kassadin, or hurt Peke rather, with the Kassadin. Lissandra ban as well for the other solo lane, so they're going to be getting that out right away. But Vayne, Uzi's not getting his Vayne, but will they ban Twitch? Like T-Man said, it was left open in that last pick ban.
I don't know.
I didn't realize I was muted this whole time. I'm talking about the game, and I'm just muted. So here we are, coming in game number 2 between RYL Club and Fnatic. Of course, we're going to have, they already locked in Orianna on RYL Club. The bans coming out exactly the same. Lissandra, Kassadin, and then Shen. Just keeping all that pressure onto the backline. So you got to wonder if Fnatic is going to be going, for that kind of backline. There's the Aatrox pick. That was either Aatrox or maybe Vi. I don't know if Cyanide actually plays Vi, but Ahri was actually open. That's right. Ahri is open in this game, so Peke is going to get that Ahri. Going to have that nice aggressive play. So we actually might see a nice Chalice, That's what Orianna likes to build. So, of course, you're going to be seeing that Chalice going to be coming out of Orianna, going to stop that potential just all in there. But on the other side, RYL Club immediately, these lock-ins are just been immediate. Elise, and then Renekton. Renekton, that powerhouse top laner we saw him yesterday, didn't drop a game. Went 3-0 throughout that series, no matter who he was on. So you gotta be wondering, is Renekton really just super hard to deal with? Is he just one of those people that you just can't deal with? Lucky, grabbing that Elise. He had an amazing game last game, with Elise, getting some nice cocoons. He was the weakest member on his team, but he just did so much, just helping out his top laner, Godlike, coming in, just helping Jax, maintain that, that farm. And then they picked up a kill as well. It was just very well played. Lucky was just doing so much. He helped them get that early lead. And then, of course, Uzi picked up his own kill up in the top lane on Soaz. Just helped them out so much. But we're seeing Ashe and Zach, so they're going for that very hard engagement there. Those people are just made to engage, and they're looking for, this is a very big pick composition so far, but not only that, they're going to try and catch people off guard. You're going to be seeing Ash Arrow straight up followed by maybe an Ari Charm, maybe Zach, leaping in, then followed up by Ultimate. Cyanide can leap in off of that as well. So basically, whoever gets hit by this arrow is going to die. This is going to be a very important game for Uzi to pick up a Quicksilver Sash, so that way he can deal with that. And he's hovering over Cork, he's hovering over Ez. We know that Twitch is open. We saw him play Twitch before. I don't think he's going to pop it out this time. I'm actually fairly certain Corky should be the pick he goes with. And they're deciding right here. They're deciding between the mobility and the constant poke. And they go with the Ezreal pick, not going to go for the Corky. And it's actually going to be probably the first game I've seen in this World Championships where Corky has not been picked or banned. He has been seeing quite a bit of play, but Ezreal, of course, still pretty good. He's got that Trinity Force. He's got the Sona to help him out there. So they're a very good level 6, a lot of poke pre-6, just to kind of deal with just what they can do. Pushu, of course, can have that poke as well with the constant volleys. But Zyra's going to help lock people down, stop any engagement, stop, Godlike from getting in on that Renekton, just dealing as much damage as he can here. But again, a lot of people diving in can just set up for Godlike, because that's what they have. They have they have Ari, Aatrox, and Zach, who can all, really dive in there. They get pretty close to each other as they come into the fight. But again, Peke on, this champion, he likes these kind of assassin-type champions. Didn't have that great of a game as Fizz last game. We'll see what Whites can do against his Ari. Maybe he can shut that one down again. It was that big all-in engagement very early on that just really shut down Peke, and he was not able to come back from that. And Whites was just able to snowball that mid-game just completely. We saw he had twice the CS, very early in. He had 230 at 21 minutes. That's amazing. That's really good CSing right there. That's near perfect. This is near perfect CS. You don't really usually see that in games. Definitely not at mid-level games in solo queue, that's for sure. But we're seeing we're having a little bit of trouble here with one of the players. And I'm going to go ahead and let the analysts actually talk about this while the game hasn't started yet. So here we go.
They got here, but to kind of shy away from it. Is it too expected from the champions, or just not in the composition of the cards?
I also think a lot of the game has changed, and Uzi has been going with either the Trinity Force carries or just Caitlyn Vayne. While the Twitch can be extremely successful, especially against a team like Fnatic, who plays a lot of Leona and a lot of punishing people for almost low mobility, Uzi's good enough that he can avoid the mobility, and when he knows he's against a bunch of divers, I think he's going to stay away from Twitch.
And one I think we should be also looking at is Renekton for Godlike.
Yeah,
he is renowned to be the best Renekton player in China, and that was a ban in the first game. This time around, it snuck through. Jax was wide open. Obviously, we've already seen Jax against Renekton doesn't work out so well.
It would be interesting to see if they actually force the 2v1. I can't see Soaz being comfortable playing against Godlike's Renekton, but at the same time, he didn't do that well against Tabby and Uzi in the last game in the 2v1 with Zach, so they might be conscious of that. I think he's a better time against an Ashe Zyra not an Ashe Zyra, Sona Ezreal than he will have against the Vayne Lulu. I feel like Zach just gets shut down very, very hard by that Vayne. So we'll see how it comes out.
Yeah, I think specifically the Ezreal from Uzi is very interesting. I've heard him talk about his AD carry preferences in the past, and he does not believe in blue build Ezreal. Even though he plays Ezreal, he will only go damage. I think Trinity Force is enough damage for him because he gets the extra move speed to chase people down. That's the only reason he's going Trinity Force, because he's diving in.
I would say... Yeah.
No, I was just going to talk about the Zyra Ashe. Obviously, it was what Fnatic used to get here in the first place. You saw it firsthand, obviously, how devastating that combo can be. What do you think they're going to push to the 2v1 to deal with Renekton? Would it be the best option, or rather going against Uzi, who has been dominant so far in this tournament?
I think we need to be careful, though. In the last time we had the 2v1 situation where Lucky came down with Godlike and actually got a pick on Yellowstar. So it didn't actually, the 2v1 situation didn't pay off in both lanes for Fnatic last time, so they need to be really watch for that. And they can't afford that to happen in the laning phase. They need to shut down Renekton, not let him get going. Same with Jax. We saw how strong he became throughout the game when he swapped it back up. So need to make sure that doesn't happen again.
I know I definitely wouldn't want to be in that lane, especially since you're getting a little bit of sustain there. It's always going to hurt. You're going to be able to deny all that plant damage. But coming in, again, we have to look at Ari versus Orianna now. Coming in for White, coming for Peke. Peke now getting a little bit more of what he wanted. On Ari, do we think he can fare better in this matchup? Is he going to roam more? Is he going to be stuck in mid from White?
I think it's going to be really integral because I don't see him getting too much help from Cyanide. Cyanide, when he plays
Okay.
Aatrox, really likes to farm. He's like, he farms and farms and farms. It's not a bad thing to do.
Right, absolutely.
But it's going to leave Peke vulnerable in that mid lane where Orianna has quite a bit of strength in the lane against Ari initially. And I think Lucky's going to be roaming around a lot more. We might see Lucky go more to the bot lane and help, well, not the bot lane, sorry, helping out Renekton a bit more often. I think he might not actually stay near mid lane. So mid lane might just be a pure skill matchup with Orianna against Ari. So it'll be interesting to see what pays off.
Another 0-0 mid lane for a while until we can find somebody roaming around.
Yeah, and I do really have to point more attention to the mid lane.
Yeah.
I think Peke has a much better chance in this game than he did in the last one, because even though I think he got a little bit surprised by White's skill on Orion in the last game, because he was so confident first picking that Fizz, and Peke was riding on a huge amount of confidence because he was able to first pick Kassadin multiple times in the quarterfinals and was really just riding that hype train for himself. Now that he's been able to think about it, say, he's got his Orianna, I know what I can do on Ari, and Peke's been historically very strong on Orianna, if I think back to the European regionals. This is Peke putting himself in a place where he can succeed.
And talking about those mid laners, something that Fnatic didn't pull out in that first game was the teleports. There was no sign of them. Are they going to pull it out this time around? Obviously, we just haven't picked some bans. They're going through it again, so we haven't seen the summoner spells exactly what they're going to come out. But Peke on Ari, teleport was his thing. If you remember back to the group stage, that's where he came around the back, completely surprised the teams.
All right, Snoopy, thank you very much. We will be seeing you for Game 3. We're about to jump into this one, and it is going to be Game 2.
All right, here we go. Game number 2. It did get started. There was a little problem with the champion select, as it looked like. But here we are, game number 2 between RYL Club and Fnatic. RYL Club, of course, having taken game number 1 of the series. To see what Fnatic can do to turn this around. This is, of course, a best-of-5 winner of this one. Goes to the finals for a chance at $1 million. This will be played, of course, at the Staples Center. So, again, a lot on the line for both of these teams here. Both these teams would love to go here, meet SK Telecom in the finals. Of course, SK Telecom is the fan favorite here. But this is the game between RYL Club and Fnatic, and Fnatic is the fan favorite in this game. Fnatic did get 74% of the votes at the beginning of this. A lot of people think that Fnatic is going to pull this out here. RYL Club showing them wrong in the first game. Have to see, again, what Fnatic can do. They did get, different picks here. Peke is not going to be playing that Fizz. Godlike is going to spot them in the river. He's going to be looking for the charm over the wall. Nope, not going to go for the charm over the wall. Going to let it go. But they're coming in through the red invade. Going to be able to get into the side of the jungle here. They know that they could be there. They are pinging there. Getting a slingshot. Not sure what the slingshot was for. Uzi walking into this bush. He's going to meet Soaz. He's got to be careful. He's hit by the volley. He's forced to flash out that Superfly. Oh, he has to use all of his summoners. There's the cleanse coming out as well. Ignite is ticking. One more auto attack will be enough to finish him. There's the flash actually coming out from Peke as well. They get actually a lot of summoners. Zac passive actually popped here. Can they manage to pick this up? Lucky does pick it up with Smite, but he's going to go. Is he going to live? Pushu and Yellowstar taking too much damage. Yellowstar not able to pick it up. Double kill coming out for Elise. Sona picking up a kill. That is 3 for 1 there. They did get the first blood, but Cyanide is super low. He is not going to be able to do this, but look at this. How did this all happen? Uzi coming in here. He cleanses, he flashes, he has Ignite on him now. Soaz is taking the tower, but he takes one too many. Peke comes in, that's a huge tower shot, doing damage. And then just Lucky comes in with the last Q, able to pick that up, and Lucky gets out of there, barely the shield from White, saving his life. The Ignite on the All-Star, able to pick it up. Pushu goes down. Probably could have given that to Godlike, and he would have ran away with his own lane there. But Soaz not going to have anything. Oh, he's going to have his flash, but a lot of summoners burnt out in that exchange. Again, 3 for 1. It is already a 1k gold deficit in favor of RYL Club. And Elise got 2 of those kills. She is okay. She is coming out of this at level 2. She did not even, she actually didn't do her red buff, so that's definitely why she's level 2. But she comes out of that. She's coming out of the jungle with boots. She's going to be able to come in with a very strong gank onto any lane they want. Uzi did go down here. I don't know if he actually picked up anything, though. He got nothing. Only got a death there. So, unfortunate for him, he's not able to get a kill. But we're already seeing just a big CS difference already in the middle lane. 17-7 this early on. Ari is forced to use all of this mana just to CS here. It's going to take a gank really from Cyanide. Cyanide, it is going to be up to him to really turn this game back around in their favor. Just because Renekton, as we look in the top lane as well, Renekton 14-3. Yeah, Zach has to play very passive with that passive down. He can't do much here. Peke taking a little bit of harass here. White's with some brilliant shields here. And Elise actually just bullying this. She's coming in for an invasion this early on here. They know that he's doing the red buff. And we're looking like a little bit of phrasing. I see a Cocoon coming out. Godlike is behind enemy lines on Saz. Why are you freezing like this? Are they going to be looking for this kill here? It is level 3. It is dangerous to dive. You know, Zach at level 3. He's got the stuns. He's got the method of doing it. But Lucky kind of caught out of position. He's taken down to half. Oh, he's just getting bursted down. They find the kill. They take him down. That was Lucky just being caught in a horrible position here. He deserved to die there. He knew that they were there. Just Lucky not playing that very well at all. Gives up the double buffs as well to Aatrox. So Aatrox going to have refreshed double buffs. Not sure why this is lagging so badly like this. So 3-2 now. Only still a 1k gold deficit here. At least not utilizing that lead as well as she could have. She, of course, does have that Spirit Stone. You know, she does clear the jungle very quickly at the moment. White's coming in. Oh, he's forced to flash out of that. Cyanide with a great flash jump. That is what Cyanide does on Aatrox. He is just providing so much pressure on the lanes, and getting that kill has helped him out immensely. He started to do that Doran's Blade. Started a Cocoon coming out. Not going to connect on anybody. Looking for the damage coming out. He's just going to go ahead and leave the lane. But Cyanide, he has that aggressive Doran's Blade start, and that's definitely how he had the damage just to deal with it. Uzi going to get caught in a Strangle Thorns, but he's going to be okay. The plant's going to deal a little bit of damage, but he's going to be perfectly fine here. As we go ahead and look at the CS between them, Chain Vest actually coming out for Zach out of that assist that he got up in the top lane. Meanwhile, it looks like we're actually just going to continue the Doran's builds, going for that, Doran's Shield and the Doran's Blade, just for that nice extra damage coming out. Again, he is just looking so strong. Godlike, again, I didn't know this, but he is just known for his Renekton play, and we are just seeing so much lag coming out of this. I will lower it to medium. Not sure why it's lagging all of a sudden. If it keeps lagging, I'm going to have to go to a Zubu. But here we go. Sorry for the quality drop. This is unfortunate. But here we go. Lucky coming in, looking for Cyanide. Not going to find him. Going to get this big golem, though. Going to force Cyanide to go back to his lane. To go back to his home and deal with that. But he wants to be able to defend Soaz. Soaz should have his passive back up now. I don't know if they want to fight this 2v2. Godlike's going to run into him. He doesn't know that Cyanide is still here. Soaz is coming in onto Godlike. Godlike is pretty tanky. There comes the ultimate out from Soaz as well. He's level 6. Godlike is not. There's a kill. Godlike going down. Cyanide picking up yet another kill. Soaz, how did you hit level 6 so fast? Oh my goodness. So turning that lane around completely. Fnatic making a very good showing here in game number 2. And he has to leave here. Fnatic, he has his ultimate up. He uses the repel just to dodge the drop, the leap. But Cyanide is only sitting on his Doran's Blade, but he is just doing so much damage in these fights. White's, he's doing a very good job mid lane. He has a 30 CS lead, so White's still maintaining just that mid domination on Orianna that we've seen. He showed it in the last game. It was very just amazing how well he was playing that. I'm not sure why she doesn't go into Spider form to clear those, but whatever. But here we go. Tabe and Uzi coming in. They're looking for Puju. Puju getting taken out super low, but there comes the Strangle Thorns coming out from Zyra. Going to go ahead and stop that. Right, I'm going to load up a Zubu. It's lagging too much. Peke, though, not going to have this just the damage coming out of the mid lane that he needs to have. It's going to be very dangerous for him. Coming into these fights, this first Dragon fight, again, as a very critical point in these games, because it usually dispels the pace of which team is just going to take the lead of these objectives.
Rods didn't just decimate.
These objectives, very important. Godlike going behind the enemy lines now. I'm not sure what he came back with. You can actually see the gold difference. Actually, we now see Aatrox just in the lead with gold. Uzi taking lots of damage here. He's able to pick it up with the ultimate. Tabe is not getting close enough. Uzi turned around for no reason. He's able to pick that up very easily. Godlike coming in for the invasion. Doing what he can, but Fnatic, able to get this dragon now. They did, force somebody back. They forced Uzi back. This opens up Fnatic to get this dragon, no problem. Go ahead and switch streams. Ching. Boom. Azubu. So Fnatic taking down this dragon here right where we left off. He's going to get this global gold, and this should give them the gold lead here. Does not. There it is. Yes, it does give them a slight gold lead now. So despite the deficit that they were down, Lucky looking so strong, able to, get that nice early 2 kills there, not able to do much with it. You see him, he still has the same 2 items, Spirit Stone and Boots, and he was not able to do anything with it. He has just not been playing as well as he did last game, getting caught out of position twice now. Godlike also going down very early on in that lane to just a Zac who just didn't have anything. Lucky, you see him waiting here. He wants to catch Cyanide off guard, but he's taking a very long time doing that. They're looking for something they can do, but Ezreal and Sonar are now level 6, so they can go very hard engagement down onto the bottom lane. Lucky taking the red buff from Cyanide. Cyanide's not doing anything. Godlike, just trading up here. And it's just going to become kind of a sustain lane. Godlike does have the better sustain. But Soaz can sustain under his tower. That's just one of the best things ever. But it looks like here comes the first tower of the game, and it's going to Royal Club. They managed to take the gold lead back with that exchange. Can they continue it down this lane, though? Again, Uzi is just the cornerstone of this. We've seen actually triple Dorans coming out from this. And I just realized the CS, oh my goodness, between the 80 carries. I did not look at that. 83 to 37. I was not expecting that huge of a difference coming into this. Lucky actually getting caught out yet again. Here comes Pekka. He's got no mana, though. There's the repel coming up, but he's got no blue buff to jump to. He's doing what he can, but he's going to go down to Pekka. Whites is now the one in trouble, but here comes Tabe coming in. A nice crescendo is going to stop them. Oh, the shockwave is actually going to get dodged here. Here comes Soaz coming on the backside. Tabe now in danger. He's going to go down. Cyanide's going to get a nice knock up onto Whites. He's looking for the kill. He finds Pekka. Manages to pick it up. Uzi's around the backside. He's going to be able to pop the passive of one person, but he's going to get knocked up. No, he's barely knocked up. The arrow is going to get flashed out. Uzi coming in with the kill, but he's flashing out. Only a 1 for 2 there. And this is just Lucky just getting really caught out here. Repels up. Does not have the shield to get out of there. Cyanide's going to continue to chase Tabe with a beautiful crescendo. But they try to stay in. The shockwave. Peke dodges a nice, that was beautiful there. That is what got them that kill. And White's just, he's able to pick up the kill onto Peke. Uzi looking for the cleanup, but he can only pop the passive and get out of there. He's forced to barely get out of this, and he barely manages to get out of the range in time. Flashes that arrow. Very nice job by Godlike, taking out his top tower. In the meantime, he should be able to get it. So they may have lost those, those few kills, those few deaths, but they're taking the objectives. So they are still maintaining this gold lead despite being down in kills. They also have the CS advantage down in the bottom lane again. Ezreal with 98 to 53. You're seeing Whites just 106 over Peke with only 78. Peke did pick up 3 kills though, so their gold count should be about even here with the towers and with the kills. So if Peke can get that DFG, he might be able to go very aggressive on Orianna. Orianna has already finished Athene's though, so I mean she's not going to take that much damage from Orianna. Orianna meanwhile is going to be doing full damage to Xpeke. Xpeke going to start receiving some support now from, it looks like, his jungler and his support. Going to do what they can. They need to get this blue buff. Blue buff should be coming up relatively soon for Fnatic and for Royal Club here. Tommy getting closer, gets hit by a charm here. He's just going to get followed up by Cyanide. Cyanide going to get pulled back in with the shockwave. Peke not able to really get anything. The arrow is going to land. Peke, being able to pick up a huge double kill, looking for Lucky as well. Lucky gets put down to half health, but it was Zyra who did pick up the kill on Orianna. Pekka getting a huge catch out on Tabe, and that's very dangerous to head over to that wall like that. Especially when the Ahri is missing on the map. That is very dangerous, and they're just getting pick after pick after pick. Fnatic just playing the way Fnatic does, and they have a picking team, and they're just getting what they want here. The only problem will be Uzi, who is just super farmed right now. Again, as we look at just the gold count between the mid laners, they're still about even here. Godlike looks like he's not able to take Soaz with that blue-red combo. Just as I say, that's gone. He disappears, of course. Yeah. Woo. But Pushu, very weak compared to Ezreal right now. You see him only got that pick. That's that triple Dorans. Isn't going to really help in these team fights. because they just don't build an item. So Pushu is even farther behind it looks like. And it's just very hard for Pushu to really come back into this. It's going to take some very strong team fights, some very strong showings out of this for Pushu to even want to come back into this. We've heard Uzi, Uzi is like just the pinnacle of the team here, and he's definitely winning, his matchup right now. We have Whites, he's not doing bad. Only got caught out there that one time. Their gold count is still even. They just showed it not too long ago. Their cold count is still really even, despite that deficit in kills. So Ari, she's behind in CS by only about 20 now, so she's starting to catch up quite a bit. Renekton got that Spirit Visage, deal with that Zac damage, able to sustain even more. Definitely needs to be able to do that. Let's have to see if Soaz goes for that as well, even though he's up against a Renekton. It still might be a very good choice for him just because it does the magic resist, it gets health. And it'll be very good against Orianna. Better health stem. But here comes the arrow coming out. Not sure where that was going. Didn't connect into anything. That was kind of a waste of an arrow there, actually. They might want to go in off of this, though. Here they come. Not able to land a cocoon. Godlike wants to engage here, but he just does not have the support from his team here. There is not a flash crescendo available just yet for Tabe. Tabe, it's almost off of cooldown. Dragon coming up right now. All summoners are going to be up for this fight relatively soon, depending on how long they can delay it. Oh, Ezreal gets it! Yes, Uzi takes that with his ultimate. He gets the blue buff that could help them in this fight. He gets the constant regen, the cooldown reduction. Will be able to help with Peke. He's looking for it. He gets a charm onto Uzi. Uzi's forced to cleanse the shockwave. Just completely whiffs. White's not hitting anybody. So as jumping in onto Lucky. Lucky's forced to repel. Godlike getting 3v1. He's going to go down. So is able to take down Lucky. White's and Uzi goes down to Soaz as well. Tabe and Whites are all that's left. It is a 3-for-1 exchange so far. Tabe is going to get slowed by Soaz. The auto attacks are going to come out. The red buff is ticking. Whites is looking for the escape. Tabe is definitely going to go down here. They need to give that to Pushu, and they do. Looks like White's going to be able to get out of there, but wow. Just White's just completely whiffing that ultimate. They aren't even going to be able to get the dragon, and Fnatic gaining a big momentum changer in this game. They managed to pick it up, but Peke just with a huge catch on everybody, getting the big, huge damage. And here we are, see it again. Peke getting that onto Uzi. Uzi's not able to do any damage. There's a shockwave. Just whiffs everywhere. Uzi, again, only now just starts auto attack. He's able to take down Cyanide, but Godlike's 3v1ing on the other side. Uzi, meanwhile, getting jumped on by Soaz, able to pick up that kill, and that was just it. White with a big blunder there. Completely just airballing the shockwave. Was not able to get that out. No damage coming out, and they just got the pressure out onto the damage dealers. Royal Club only 2k gold behind. If they can just pick up a tower off of this, they can help even the gold count a little bit more. But Fnatic now looking strong. Pushu, he's got that BF sword. They're going to be looking for that Infinity Edge as soon as he can. Ezreal now has his Trinity Force. They are still in this game. They are not out of this game just yet. Cyanide, he's looking very tanky. He's just doing so much disruption. And this is how you build Aatrox, by the way. We saw Aatrox, he just did not have... We saw Aatrox yesterday, but it just did not work out for SK Telecom. SK Telecom, I believe they were the ones who did it. And it just did not work out for them at all. They just got completely rolled as Aatrox. They just were not able to do what Cyanide can do on Aatrox. And it's just a Cyanide champion. One of their favorite champions to play in the jungle here. Godlike still up top lane. Still only has that Spirit Visage. Has not really had an opportunity to go and get new items just yet. I mean, he did die, but he just does not have the gold to get the items that he needs. Desperately needs, some armor for this team. Just given that Ashe, he needs everything. But here comes a huge shockwave coming at Peke. Gonna get bursted down completely. Tabe, and meanwhile, getting taken out. The arrow gonna completely whiff. Soaz is in trouble. He is getting chased on. He does not have his passive up. He does have his passive up. Cyanide does not have his passive up, though. He's gonna take damage. White able to pick up that kill. Under tower, they're able to clean up Soaz. They're gonna be able to push down this tower, no problem. Is a 1-for-3 exchange, this time in favor of Royal Club, and that was Royal Club just getting in a huge catch. Tabe with an amazing crescendo that lets White, hit the shockwave. He missed the last two, but it's hard to miss it when they can't even move. So White's able to use that extra damage, and they actually might be able to pick up the second tower as well. There's no one really here to stop them. White's taking tower, though. He's got to get out of there. And looks like, this second tower is going to go down. That makes the tower count 4-0. And Royal Club just so good at taking down these objectives. Fnatic has no answer. They might be able to counter push this and take down the middle tower for themselves, but that'll be it. They won't be able to get a second one. RYL can actually stop them if he gets it up in time. But it looks like everybody's going back on Fnatic. They are looking for the pick. They find one. Can they find another? They find Whites. They caught out by the war. Not a good place to go back right there. They should not be able to defend this. There are too many people. It's going to be a 5-man push middle. This tower should fall. Fnatic should be able to pick it up here and get a nice tower for themselves. Pushu getting the damage out onto it. And it looks like, yes, that will be the first tower of the game for Fnatic. But Royal Club still looking good. They have a good team comp here to fight with Orianna and Elise and Renekton. They have a very nice team comp to fight. But just the catching ability here, they know that he's there. Godlike has to be careful. He's already used his slice. He's already used his dice. He's going to be forced to flash out of this. He does not have his flash, though. They are doing all he can. He is very tanky. Crocodile, he uses... Oh, no way. He actually makes it out of it. The Dominus gives him enough health to survive it. They blew so much on trying to kill him. He did pop his ultimate. Did they burn any flashes or any ignites? Did not look like they actually did, but this blue buff is going to be secured for Fnatic. So, Godlike, now in that godlike state of being very tanky. Definitely what they need from Godlike to be able to get into that back line. Just need a ball delivery system for Orianna to get onto those carries here. Ashe is still relatively weak compared to Ezreal. Ezreal almost has his last Whisperer, if that's what he decides to go for. He's already got that Trinity Force done. Still no major item done on Ashe. Pushu's starting to push down this top lane. Godlike should be able to defend this no problem. And he indeed does. They're coming up for a little bit of support, but then they're going to back off. They know Godlike has it. But now we're seeing that Haunting Guise coming out onto Soaz. Soaz can be able to deal quite a bit of damage, actually, with that Haunting Guise. That little bit of magic penetration and ability power and health just do quite a bit for Zac. Zac, just with that ability power, he's able to do quite a bit of damage because he actually does percentage damage with one ability. So it does quite a bit of damage with that penetration. And he's actually a pretty force to be reckoned with. Zac with that penetration really gets in there. And I mean, everything he does is magic damage, so it makes sense. I like that build on Zac very much so. But Royal Club, they're still behind about 1k gold lead. But again, they just have, I feel like, a better team fight. They have a really strong team fight, just completely. Are Royal Club going to go for another Baron? I think they're just clearing out these wards here. It'd be very risky to go for that Baron, especially when they're not in the lead like this. They need to make a pick happen. Fnatic, that's what they want to do. They want to get a nice arrow out, follow it up with some good damage here from Ahri. Can they find the pick that they need? The White's getting over there with the ball, going to get some vision here. They have them kind of zoned out. They're not able to really, don't really want to funnel through this. Godlike and Lucky are going to be the first ones to come in here. Here comes the volley and everything. And here they come, the Shockwave. Huge, going to land on the Yellow Star and Cyanide. They're going to get followed up by a Crescendo. Tommy just going to get birds down. Cyanide's pass is popped, but he's, oh no, he flashes it. Tommy goes down. He's able to pick the kill on the Cyanide. Soaz is getting jumped on by everybody. He's able to just bounce his way out of there. Lucky coming in, Godlike taking so much damage from Peke and Pushu, but Uzi's coming in. He dodges the charm, but Pushu flies able to finish him off. He's got the double buff, so I don't think they can finish him off. They cannot get there. Soaz getting kited, Lucky able to finish him off. It is a 4 for 3. Pushu barely surviving that. Peke only has 200 health. And how did that go wrong for Royal Club? They had just the good pick at the beginning. It just wasn't on the important people. They wanted it on Pushu. It was just a very late Shockwave coming out. There comes Tabe. He gets the Crescendo out, but right before he just gets bursted down there. But Weiss is not able to get to the important target. Simon goes down to the auto attack. Godlike's doing what he can, but I think Godlike's just on the wrong end of this fight. He realizes this, tries to get out here, but the last Spirit Rush going to be able to help pick him up. And then Uzi goes a little bit too aggressive there, trying to finish off Peke. He needed to play a little bit more slower, just allowing Pushu to really survive there. Soaz has the damage to take down Whites. They did force the flash out of him, though. So they're looking for this Dragon Control. This is actually very dangerous for Royal Club. They can't be on this side of this thing, not with Ahri up. Her Spirit Rush is, of course, off cooldown already. It's a very short cooldown. Every ultimate's going to be up except for Crescendo for this fight, actually. And it looks like Fnatic are going to be able to take this thing down, no problem. Nobody even coming in. They're coming in very late here. There comes the ultimate coming out. They get a lot of damage out on the Pushu. They have to be careful. Godlike's getting hit by the arrow, but that's not who they want to hit. He's coming in. He's got the dominance already going in. He can get in there with the ball and maybe deal some good damage coming out. They're continuing the line, but Godlike is just being kited so much. He's forced to flash out of this fight. They're trying to disengage. Peke is coming in with the Spirit Rush. The Shockwave whiffs yet again. Cyanide coming in with the chase. They're going to be able to get out of this no problem. But the Shockwaves are just not good from Whites in this game. White's not having the same showing in these team fights that they had in the last game, and that's very unfortunate for Royal Club, as they have just a very good team fight with that, but just the kiting from Fnatic was just so good in that. The volley just slowing them all down, the charm, and just the slow from Aatrox just able to do so much. Of course, Stranglethorn's doing quite a bit there as well. Godlike not able to get into that back line like he wanted to. I mean, he is very tanky right now. He can take so much magic damage as he gets the Merc Treads as well. To see what he decides to build that cloth armor into, if he's going to go for the white shield. I always forget what it's called. Randuin's Omen. Randuin's. If he goes for that Randuin's, be able to get in there, slow people down even more, really help them land that. But Peke is just playing just so well despite having been behind so much in the early game. He is caught up in CS. He is pretty much even in kills. They've gotten the dragons. The only thing they're behind in is towers, and it's the only reason this game is so close. It's because of these towers here. And this game, too, is pretty much amazing right now. Can Fnatic pull the Game 2 win out? Have to wait and see. But Royal Club is just playing so well. Fnatic is playing so well. This is the semifinal match that we all wanted to see. These semifinal matches have been so good so far. There have been some exciting days of League of Legends. This World Championships has just been amazing. Pekka going to be able to get that blue buff. That Spirit Rush going to be on an even shorter cooldown. Thanks to DFG and things on Holy Grail and the blue buff. As she's heading for that Seeker's Armor. Not going to go for the Drabadon's Death Cap just yet. She wants more survivability against this team. She does quite a bit of damage thanks to DFG, so she doesn't exactly need the Rabadons yet. But she will be able to pick that up later on, of course. But she needs that way of survivability, and once she gets that, she'll be able to dodge even more shockwaves with Zhonya's. So Fnatic want to look for some objectives. They're trying to push down these lanes as much as they can. There's a big wave forming on the bottom lane for Fnatic here, but Royal Club is just doing a good job of just roaming around the map right here. They're looking for a pick. Now, Cyanide is not who they want, though. Ooh, this is very dangerous for Cyanide. He does have his passive up, so they can do it. They do activate it. Not sure why they did that. There's a Charmander on top 8. Oh, they're going to go for it. Oh, she flashes right in the strength. Oh, man, everything's coming off top 8. He managed to get the crescendo out. Cyanide's coming in for the damage. There comes the Shockwave. Godlike is trying to fight the back line. There comes the back line for Soren and Cyanide. They're trying to get in there. Lucky is super low. Godlike is super low. Renekton able to pick up the kill on the Cyanide. This looks like the end of the engagement, though. A 1-for-1. A support for a jungler. Not too bad. Crescendo was able to get shot out there at the last second. A lot was burned just to kill Tabe. But they can't really take any objective off of this, so it's just going to be just back to farming. There's no close nearby objective that they can take. All the outer turrets are down. They already have the second mid-tier tower down. So they're just going to go right back to farming, try and get this next engagement the way they want it. Crescendo will be down for this unless they wait it out long enough. Of course, they did manage to pop Cyanide's passive. That is huge coming into this next fight. They definitely want to fight while that thing is off cooldown, because it will just take out a Thorn to their side. So all in all, a very big win there in that 1-for-1 trade for Royal Club. As they start the Baron, everyone's trying to collapse on it. Pushu is in the bottom lane, but they're doing it super fast. It's already down to half health. They're just bursting this thing down as much as they can. Cyanide has to get in here and go for the smite steal. They get the vision through the ward coverage. There comes everything. No, Elise with a beautiful was going to stop that. Cyanide trying to get out of there. Godlike's going to try and chase him, but now he is split from his team. Peke's in the front line looking for the charms to land. There comes the True Shot Barrage. Not going to hit the important people. The arrow going to come out. Shockwave's going to stop any potential engagement there, but Lucky's going to get charmed. He's going to get bursted down. He's forced to flash out of this. Godlike's coming into the back line, though, but he's all alone. They can't get the kill onto him. The charm is not going to land anywhere. They're coming in. Fnatic. Oh, Peke goes down to Uzi with a nice flash coming in. Soaz trying to leap out of there, but Godlike's got the chase. Godlike is doing so well right now, getting to this back line, setting up these kills for his team. The slice should not be up for a little bit. He gets slowed by the punch. He comes in. He gets the stun, but he has no team to really follow up with. But they should be able to push down this tower. It is a 5-man push. Ari is down. She had gotten no good follow-up damage here for any engagement. And this should be an inhibitor tower down. Royal Club getting a huge catch there. These towers are winning them this game. This actually could be an inhibitor as well. Soaz coming in, trying to do what he can. Pushu trying to get some poke damage from the side. He's getting it down to Sarah, but here comes a crescendo. Pushu, there comes a beautiful ultra from Zyra, knocking everybody up. Tabe is going to get stunned. He's going to get taken out by Pushu, but now White's able to pick up the kill onto Pushu, trying to keep the zoning out. Ari's going to be coming up now. Will she have home guards? She's coming in with the home guard. She's coming in with the spirit rush. She's coming in with the kill. Can she find it? Uzi has no mana. But they're just putting the damage on the defensive spirit rush as they continue onto the Nexus towers. They're coming in. Sauce coming in with the leap. Not able to find any knockup, but that's one Nexus tower that's going to go down. Can they find the next one? There is still 3 down for Fnatic. Peke does not have his ultimate anymore. Oh, a Shockwave's going to catch Peke. He's going to go down. That should be the game. The Nexus towers are down. The Nexus will fall. And that's it. Game 2 going to Royal Club. Wow. All right, I'm going to let the announcers take care of that. The rest of it.
Call for them to rush the Baron, as we saw in the quarterfinals. Once they got it, one at a time, they systematically pushed down Fnatic's turrets. They had 4-1 before the Baron, and they just ran that mid lane down. Fnatic could not respond.
And what a crazy game. You remember the 3-1 fight at the very start of the game. 3-1 Royal Club took the advantage. Fnatic fight themselves back into it, but God, what a play by Royal Club there. You called it a ballsy move to go for the Baron, but damn, they just pushed all the way up that mid lane.
Yeah, we know that Royal's not afraid of taking risks. Sometimes it doesn't work out for them, but when it does, because they take them so often, they know exactly how to capitalize on that one. They're now 1 game away from a berth in the finals.
And we have seen Fnatic coming back stronger in these games. The first game they were down, They could not come back. That game, they were down, and they brought it back to even, but still Royal had it in their minds. They knew they were doing Baron early. They knew they were going to get that fake in, and they knew they were going to be able to win it. Can they do it this time? Does Fnatic show something that they usually kind of get under your skin with?
Well, again, we didn't see Soaz on an Assassin, but this time around, it worked very well from Unzak, and he was up against Godlike's Renekton, who is famed throughout China, so there's a lot of pluses and minuses. The big minus, though, it's got to be that bottom lane.
Yes.
Uzi dominated Pushu.
It's absolutely the laning right now for Fnatic. They can't lose lanes like this and expect to win 3 games in a row, which is what they're up against right now. It's strange, too, because Fnatic has laned so well so far in the World Championships. It is just Royal picking for the lanes, and then Fnatic not being able to pull off all of their picks. They got a couple of them this game, but because they had lost the lanes so badly, it didn't actually give them a lead. It only kept them even, and as soon as they lost one fight, the game was over.
All right, now let's send it over to the guys at the analyst desk for a look at the plays that Royal made to win Game 2.
Thank you very much, Riv, and what a game from Royal. Fnatic, they had a glimmer of hope in the mid-game. They were able to find picks, were able to make some plays happen, but you know, at the end of the day, Royal just built up too much of a lead too early on. We'll get to some of the game-changing moments a little later. Let's start this one off with picks and bans. Double revive passives coming out for Fnatic. It's something we've seen, I think, actually more from the Euro teams than anyone else. Let's start this one with Monty first.
I mean, I really liked Fnatic's composition here, especially because they didn't ban Renekton in this game, and they could assume that it was going to be coming in on Royal's side, considering how much Godlike favors that champion. And when you have champions like Ashe and Zyra, Aatrox and Zac, you can kite that Renekton really well and make sure he never deals a lot of damage to you with his ultimate. And we saw that coming in throughout the game. I think what was kind of disappointing to me here was actually Ahri from Xpeke, because typically we see him using a teleport Ahri, but if you use the Ignite Ahri, you really need to go for that burst. And while Peke has a lot of success with Athene's teleport Ahri, I would have much rather seen that DFG first. And by the end of the game, he had DFG, but he just wasn't even using it in team fights.
Yeah, and another weird thing about Peke's Ahri is, well, I think next game he's either going to ban or take Orianna away from White, because this is the second time he's gotten crushed in lane by White, to be quite honest. And the thing is, he even got First Blood, so I would expect him to win lane with First Blood. Another thing is that Ori and Ezreal are both champions that do really well in extended fights, and when you pick double revive passive, you're looking for an extended fight. You're going to die, then you're going to come back, and the fight is going to last a really long time. Against Renekton, who's going to get constant Fury gain, Orianna, who's going to get a bunch of shields off, and Ezreal is just going to kite forever, it's actually not that great against Royal's team comp.
So talk to me a little bit now about the actual gameplay that took place during the course of this matchup. You know, we've seen that 3v1, or the 3-4-1 at the level 1 tower dive, which backfired so badly for Fnatic. Cyanide then just decided to turn it on. He dove all over the map. He managed to secure kill after kill after kill. And I know, Crepper, you felt quite strongly about Cyanide's early game performance on Aatrox.
There's so many good things for Fnatic though coming in early. They weren't afraid to make an aggressive play. They went under a tower, which shows they're not afraid to make plays. They got an early deficit, and then Cyanide still pushed it up. He really went top lane, and he understands the damage output of Aatrox so well. So many times we see an Aatrox jungle and we're like, meh, what does he actually do? Like, doesn't do much. Cyanide, he really understands that champion. Goes for the early 2v2 skirmishes, which he always wins. Then in the mid-game team fights, you know, the Dragon fight where Fnatic turned it around, that was Cyanide jumping in the backline, zoning, and dying consequently to Orianna and Ezreal. But due to the revive, as we said earlier, he basically drew aggro for twice in the lifetime, allowing Soaz to come around in the backfield. And while Fnatic was kiting Renekton, as we pointed out earlier, Zyra, Ashe, and Ahri was just kiting Renekton around. They dealt with their backline. Cyanide, as a jungler, basically did the same as the top laner did for RYL. So that was really, really well played by him.
And early game, yeah, Cyanide turned it on, but I think later in the game, that was the lucky show. This guy needs to change his name to Skillful, because those weren't lucky smites. Those were skillful smites, man. Like, this guy gets into 50-50 Barons twice so far in 2 games, and it's not a 50-50, dude. This guy's actually just really smart with smiting. They always get Baron to around 1,000, 1,100 HP, and they allow Elise to Q smite at the exact moment that she wants it to time it together so that Cyanide can never smite steal.
And I actually have to sort of celebrate a lot of what you're saying in terms of the individual play of the RYL members, because kind of going down the line, right? I know we talked in the pregame about Uzi and how crazy he is and how good he is, but he has straight crushed Pushu twice now in terms of minion kills, in terms of champion kills, and having impact on the game. Secondarily, you again talked about the junglers, and I know we sort of celebrate Cyanide in Europe as being one of the best smiters in the region. He's generally a guy who can make those crazy turnarounds and make those smites, and yet here's Lucky who, as you say, right, it's not luck, it's skill. Twice in a row has taken those, guaranteed those things for his team. And then also, again, down the line, the mid lane, White has twice now just destroyed Peke. And so when you look at a team like Fnatic, they're the Season 1 champions. They've played in this kind of stage before. Nerves shouldn't be getting to them at all. Whereas you look yesterday, both the Korean teams looked a little bit nervous. They weren't playing 100%, but RYL here are playing at 110% when it matters the most.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. We're about to move on to social media, but I know that, Crepper, you had some thoughts on some of the factors of players going on tilt. So do you want to share some of your thoughts here? Because it looks like Fnatic is struggling.
Yeah, definitely. The way they get affected by playing, Soaz is a very emotional player, so I really hope he just calms down again and gets everything together. Because you see, Cyanide's improving. They got information. You have to, in the best of 5, the first 2 games, you have to regard as free information how you go back from it. Because Fnatic technically can easily go 3-0 if they keep playing and not throwing their lead away. They now have to respect the Orianna, as Doublelift pointed out. They have to put Cyanide on champions he's comfortable with. They have to keep making those plays, keep making those picks. I wouldn't put Pusu on Ashe again because he seemed very hesitant with his arrow. I just hope they don't tilt. Just calm down again and look at this as a new best of 3.
Well, we'll have to see if they can, because it's going to be a best of 3 they have to win all 3 games on. As I mentioned already, we are going to get to the rest of the series in a moment, as the first 2 games of the semi-final, it seems it's already sorted out. It's time to check in and see what you guys had to say about our Twitter question of the day. We asked you, which team have you become a fan of after watching them play at Worlds, and why? And here's what you guys had to say. At Marcus Fails. He says, originally being a Cloud9 fanboy, Fnatic showed me a whole new playstyle I have never seen, landing a spot in my favorites. It might be disappointing you a little here in the semi-final. Freak, what's your thoughts?
I really like the Fnatic playstyle because they're highly aggressive and they create opportunities. That's the one thing I think defines them very well, is that they will just make openings happen. In Game 1, they were like, Cyanide, come bottom lane. We'll Solar Flare and we're just all going to jump onto Uzi and Tabe and we'll just get kills. It'll work, trust me. And they decide to start things out. This game as well, Game 2, just let's throw an Ashe Hour out there. Let's just try to dive in there. They just create openings and it just tends to work for them.
The funny thing about this game is, though, even though Fnatic lost, the score was 21-18 in Fnatic's favor. So they really value kills, and they know how to make plays.
Yeah, that's the truth. Right, at Dr. Win, he says, how can anyone not be a fan of Mineski after Worlds? Their fantastic attitude, even when losing, has won my support. The crowd here seems to like them.
I mean, and personally, too, I had a lot of conversations with the Mineski guys, and they are just as likable off stage as on stage. They were so happy to be here, so happy for the opportunity, so happy to be able to play these other teams. Really awesome team.
Yeah, similar with Gaming Gear as well in the other group. They just had smiles all day long. I think they had realistic expectations and came in just to learn, adapt, and basically sponge up everything from the Worlds. All right, at Dennis Upton, he says, I have become a huge fan of SKT T1 after watching Worlds. Faker's play and Bengi's jungle are amazing to watch. And I think I would agree with that. We've seen them demonstrating it yesterday in the semifinals. Not necessarily things Faker does to his epic level, but he did well.
Coming into this tournament, I wasn't entirely sold on the Faker hype train a certain analyst on his desk was presenting. And then he played his Gragas against Orianna, and I was completely shut up. Like, he turned everything, every single play, he turned it around. Like, any other Gragas would have knocked the Orianna away. No, Faker's like, I'll knock you into my tower and I'll meet you halfway.
And it's important to note as well, even in the semifinals, that not all those games were the 110% Faker level. He wasn't the best mid laner in the world for all those games, but the rest of his team showed up extremely well. You had Impact carry some of those games. You had the bottom lane carry most of them, basically. And the whole SKT line has been really impressive so far.
Yeah, that's the truth. All right, we got one more tweet here from @Matless Young. He says that Royal Club, Tabe's game-changing three-man stuns and exceptional sportsmanship definitely made me a fan. I have to admit, I loved his interview, I've loved their play, and I fell in love listening to him singing.
Tabe actually reminds me kind of Pumandu 2.0 because they both die consistently in lane like every game, and I'm like, wow, these guys, when I watch lane phase, I'm like, these guys actually miss position really bad, and then they get to team fights and they pull off some amazing stuff, and I'm just like blown away at what you can do on support.
Yeah, that's the truth. All right, guys, keep sending in those tweets. We love to hear what you have to say. We are at LOL Esports, and be sure to use that hashtag Worlds.
Then head over to bit.ly/Worlds Semis and answer a couple of questions like, what do you think about the Off the Rift segments? It's a quick and easy way to help us bring you more of what you want.
All right, with all of that, guys, it is time to take a very quick break. But when we return, it is time for Game 3 between Fnatic and Royal Club. Uzi and crew are just one win away from a Season 3 final showdown with SKT. Plus, CLG's top laner Nian will join us to break down the semi-final matchup. The Season 3 World Championship. We'll be right back after this.